Welcome to Cape Fear Business Roundtable. I'm Frank Williams, and we thank you for joining us today. And today's guest is Lucinda Arnold, who her and her husband Eugene own a number of businesses that we'll talk about later. Lucinda, thank you for joining us.
Good
We
morning.
appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Frank,
And
for asking.
before we get into to talking with Lucinda, I do want to mention our two sponsors, which are two businesses under one roof here in Leland. They are Pioneer Strategies and Pioneer Specialties. Pioneer Strategies is a communication firm and can help you with everything from web design to traditional public relations to digital advertising to social media marketing. The other company, Pioneer Specialties, is a promotional products company, and Pioneer Specialties has access to over 1 million products from 4,300 suppliers worldwide. And what that means is they can look for products you don't even know to search for, and they'll manage the whole process so that you can go about running your business and don't have to think about it. And I am a co-owner of both companies, and you can find out more at pioneerstrategies.com or pioneerspecialties.promo. So with that, Lucinda, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate your time, and I'd like to start out with some more non-business questions. And obviously, we live in a fast-growing area. This area is seeing tons and tons of people move in from lots of places. So I'd like to ask our guest, are you originally from here? And if not, how long have you been here, and where did you come from, and what brought you here?
Well, I'm like a lot of the other people that have moved to this area. I've now developed a really strange accent because I'm originally from between Buffalo and Rochester, New York. But I tell people that, we got here as fast as we could. We've been here for over 20 years now. And yes, we've seen a lot of
So you're almost a
changes.
native.
Uh, I've been called a local before, and I don't think I've ever been so flattered.
But well, what made you decide to move here?
Opportunity. My husband, Eugene, and I had a pretty successful business up north. We were in the scrap metal industry. I owned a junkyard, and we used to bring a lot of material to our scrapyard. We would process it. And what does that mean? It means getting rid of contaminants off of the metal. If they were any kind of like an aluminum screen door, you can't ship the glass in. So that would have to be removed. So we would be shipping clean metal. And we were shipping Canada about 5 times a day. We had about 25 people that worked for us. And we just got to a point where our hearts weren't in it. We bought a beach house here in North Carolina like everybody else does. And we always thought that it was going to be, retirement. We were going to retire and this would be an investment property and so on. And we had just built a house in New York. We lived in it for 18 months and we put it on the market. And we probably sold half of everything we owned. And we packed up our children and we moved south. And we had to be 100% honest with you. We didn't really know what we were going to do. We did pretty good for ourselves when we were up north, so we had a little bit of time to decide. But we were in our early 30s, and some people might be okay with retiring, but we've always we just have always have been go-getters and always looking for good opportunities, good people. And we started flipping houses. We would buy houses, we would fix them up, make them beautiful, and then resell them. And that model worked great until '08 showed up. And the banks started, really just squeezing everybody out that was doing this types of work. And so we're like, well, what are we going to do now? We have to feed our family. Our kids were young. And one of the women that moved here with us, we had another couple eventually come down and move here too for the same opportunity. And she knew how to paint. So her and I, we became painters. And I did not know how to paint. I didn't know anything about paint. And so we became painters, and we did a good job. We cleaned up after ourselves. We were wonderful to our homeowners. They appreciated us. We appreciated them. And we used good products. We actually showed up with the products that we told you we were going to use in your house. And the company just started to grow organically all by itself. And I'll never forget the first time we were on the Just Judy. That was a newsletter. I believe the newsletter is still in the gated community here called St. James. And as soon as we hit the Just Judy, our phones started ringing. And so what did we do then? We started bringing our husbands aboard and some other people that we had met. We had a gentleman by the name of Robert move here with us, and the five of us were then painters, and that went on for quite a while. And my husband at one point, he said, you know what? You step away, Lucinda, to go build the business, and you get it, and I'll promise it. That's what his exact words were. I'll never forget. And so we ended up me going and building the business, talking to builders, talking to homeowners, and then him managing more of the guys and the projects. And we just started hiring like really good people, people that had the same vision that we did. And it just kept growing and growing. And we've always been very proud to make sure that we're taking care of our people and that our people take care of our clients.
And that's really the key to it. If you have good people and you take care of them and train them, they will take care of your clients. And you mentioned that you were out building the business. That's how we met, was at the Southport-Oak Island
Yeah.
Chamber, probably over 10 years ago. It's hard. I don't know when it was, but it's been a while. And you've been running the business connections group there for how long?
I believe that we're at 10 years now. And Business Connections is an amazing way to meet other business owners in the area. And it's a referral group. It's a business group. We get a bunch of people in there, and we give everybody the opportunity to talk about who they are and who they're representing, whether it's their business or another. And the chamber is an amazing way, and I'm so glad you were there that day.
And well, jumping off of work for 1 minute before we go back to it. I mean, obviously, I know you work a lot because I see you out and about. But what is your favorite non-work related either place to go or thing to do in this part of the state?
I think just being outside. Being outside is probably one of my favorite things to do. We do have a farm, and I really love going out and checking out what the horses are doing, or making sure that the chickens have water. Maybe I'll plant flowers, and I don't know why I plant them because the chickens will dig them up the next day, but it brings me a lot of satisfaction to do that. I love plants. I love nature. We do travel here and there, and I do enjoy that, but it's always really good to come home too, especially to this beautiful area that we live in. And I think a lot of us that have been here for a while, we just know it's the best place on earth, and we feel we're on vacation every day.
And that's well said. You know, some people, their answers to that question all revolve around food, but a lot of them are around the outdoors. And coming here from Buffalo, I'm guessing you can be outdoors a lot more months here than you could there.
That is so true. You know, if you live up in where I'm from, you had to have a beat 'em or join 'em attitude, in my opinion. Either you were gonna embrace the cold and go skiing and snowmobiling and snowshoeing and all those other good things, or you were going to stay in the house for 9 months out of the year. And at one point, I was the assistant manager for a large ski company, and we would go skiing every day. And once I left that job, I didn't ski again for 20 some years. And I went skiing, and I enjoyed myself, but I'm like, yeah, I don't miss skiing.
I had another guest who moved here from Alaska, And when we had that little snow a few months ago, he thought about getting out his cross country skis, which would have probably looked funny in a park in Wilmington to have somebody with cross country skis and all the gear that he brought from Alaska. But well, you talked about your painting business, and you told me about a business I never knew you had been previously involved in. I never knew about the junk and junkyard side, as you said. That was new to me. Tell us a little bit about the other things that you guys do, and just what your different businesses are and who you serve and that type of thing.
Absolutely. So we have some Airbnbs. We do have three of them, and one of them is downtown Southport. So we host an awful lot of people that are coming to this area. We're 5-star super hosts, and I just really love being able to host people. I get the coolest questions, and I almost feel it's like I'm like one of the people that I'm not a gatekeeper, but I'm here to offer as much information about the area as possible, because that's how we got here. We vacationed here and they're like, oh, we love this place, we're going to stay. So I just get the coolest questions. Where should we go eat? What should we do? I've got little kids, how far away from the beach are you? And, oh, I'm getting married at the Southport Community Building. Who's a caterer? I just get the coolest questions, and I try to be as helpful as possible, because I was new here once too, and I didn't know people. And so I've had people say, well, I'm coming to stay at your house because I might eventually move here. And so then I'm saying to them, well, if I can help you in any way, I was new here too. So just let me know who I can connect you with in the community, because that's what this community is all about, is connecting. This is a very tight-knit community. We take our businesses very seriously, and the people that we do business with are the same way. We run our business like a business, and I'll only do business with other businesses that feel that same way, whether it's the electrician or the AC people. We all kind of band together, and we keep each other busy, and because that's what we need to be doing in this community. I think the chamber does a great job of that. And so, but the Airbnbs are, we also have one in, it would be Arbor Creek. And then we have a condo in St. James. The condo and the house in Arbor Creek is a monthly rental. Those stay pretty busy. People that are moving to this area, maybe they're trying to escape the cold. Maybe they just, are able to work from home, and they want to come and experience the beach for the summer. And then, of course, the one that's downtown Southport, that one's a nightly rental. And Frank, I just want to point out, I could never do all of this by myself. We have an amazing team. My daughter-in-law, Rosa, is my cleaner. Her and a group, they're the ones that take care of the Airbnbs. My other daughters, they manage them for me. So I really feel that, the recipe for where we've gotten, the recipe for success is just keep surrounding yourselves with the right people. Whether it's business people, friends, whoever that may be. But again, we've never done all of this ourselves, and we would never pretend that that's a thing. So, and we also own, we're part owners in Made New Interiors and Decor. Made New is a very special place. Eugene and I, my husband's Eugene, we saw this concept about 5 years ago now in Florida. And we were amazed. Here we're painters. But when we walked into that store, my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, is the one that introduced us to the store. She's like, hey, you guys got to see this store while you're here. And we're like, okay, it's a store. How great could it be, right? Well, we walked in and we were like blown away. Our eyes were tore wide open, because we had never saw this concept before, that you could buy kitchen cabinets, countertops, lighting, flooring, tile, all under one roof. Never knew it was a thing. Yes, the big box stores do that, But I feel that we bring professionalism and personality and just that human connection that I feel that a lot of the other places are not able to. So we started putting it together. We started thinking about it. We do have business partners, and our partners are in the building industry. And so it was like what we thought to be like a perfect marriage of both of those entities coming together. And so Made New, just speeding fast forward, is a beautiful showroom. We are a gallery for visual comfort. Actually, today we're actually hosting a luncheon for something called Laticrete. Laticrete is a material that you use for tiling. So we have about 20 tilers in the area that are coming for lunch today so that they can learn about some of the products that they may need to use for their particular businesses. We really just try to be a resource. We're looking for builders. We're looking for remodelers. We're looking for interior designers. We do have designers on staff to assist you, but if you are a designer, we're there to assist you. We're there to point out to you the things that we can get you, some of the things that maybe that particular couch only comes in these 3 colors, those types of things. But again, we're kitchen cabinets, countertops, lighting, flooring, tile, all under one roof. We've gone to great lengths to make sure it's beautiful. We have shower heads that work, like you can turn them on, and that way you'll know what you're purchasing before you do. But again, we just really sought out the best of the best, and we feel that we are the best of the best in this industry.
And it is a beautiful store. I remember being there for your grand opening, and I was amazed at how big it was. I mean, the grand opening was almost like a black tie affair, which is, in Southport, people usually wear shorts and sandals, so it was a little
Yes.
different, but it certainly stood out. Tell us where the store is located.
So the store is actually located in the Lowe's Food Shopping Plaza that is closest to downtown Southport. So it's the one that is closest to Tractor Supply, the one where the new San Felipe restaurant and Alpaca have opened. So we are directly across the parking lot from San Felipe and the Alpaca restaurant right there. So a lot of people know us because we're right next door to the Bagel Dock. But the address is 5021 Southport Crossing Way, and we are Unit 326. But we do take up 4 of the units. The showroom is about 5,600 square feet of beautifulness. So we hope that everybody will come in and take a look.
And that's basically the intersection of 211 and Long Beach Road, but on the kind of the opposite side from Long Beach Road. So that's the way I would describe it for anybody who
Yes.
knows these roads by their more common names. And what is your website? Is it madenewinteriors.com?
It is, yes. And any questions, you can definitely find me. I don't mind giving out my personal number. If anybody ever wanted to talk painting or they wanted to talk about Made New, the best number to reach me at, I prefer texting. Some people don't, but I can get to you a lot quicker through a text. But my personal number is 716-474-0016. And yes, that is a Buffalo area code.
And you're not the first guest to give out their cell number on the podcast. So that's, definitely demonstrates a commitment to being accessible by your clients. Going back to the Airbnbs, how can people find out about those if they want more information?
So they are listed on Airbnb. So if you go on Airbnb, so the one downtown Southport, we do call that one Southport's Canary Cottage because it's yellow. And then the other one in St. James, that one we call Southern Winds. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful condo. It is in the Marshwinds community. And then the other one in Arbor Creek, we call that one Coastal Cottage. But again, you can definitely contact me on my cell phone. We manage the one downtown Southport solely. We mow the grass, we, do the painting, we do everything that we have to do to make sure that everybody has an enjoyable stay. And then the other two, I do have them listed through a local property management company called iTrip, and they do a fabulous job. If anybody was ever looking for kind of like a smaller boutique style management company for their property, I love.
Your sound just went out for a second. Your sound just went out, Lucinda. Okay, I lost you for a second there, but I think hopefully it'll come through. For a second, the sound went out, but
Okay, sorry
yeah,
about
you got
that.
to love technology when it actually works, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you one common thread I've picked up through a lot of what you've said is that a couple of common threads. You like people and you like being a resource for people. Would that be an accurate observation, regardless of which business? It seems like that's something that I've heard you say, even though you didn't say it directly.
I think that's a yes, absolutely. Great observation. I always just want people to know each other. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about business connections and belonging to the other chambers. We are members of the North Brunswick Chamber also. I sit on a couple of different boards in the community, and I just feel that it's really important to be giving back to your community. Get involved. Why would you not? There's so much here to choose from. And I just feel that, God's blessed me in so many ways. And if I can be a blessing to somebody else, for sure, that's what it's all about. It's about giving. And sometimes you please never expect anything in return, because then it's not a gift, right? So always just be that person. I always just want to feel that people can come to me, and I like to be a problem solver, not a problem creator. And so you either fit into one of those boxes usually. So I'm just here to help in whatever way that I can our community, because I'm so grateful for being able to be here, to be quite honest.
You've hit on what I think is one of the most important principles of networking, which is that it has to be about what you give, not what you get. So many people go to networking with the mentality, what can I get out of this? And they
Yes.
go to 3 events and quit because they haven't gotten 500 sales from it. And that's not what networking is. And if you add value, you'll get value. If you don't add value, people probably will tune you out after a while. And I think that's such an important mentality. If people go to the chamber and expect to get instant results without contributing anything themselves, they're going to be disappointed, but they've got no one to blame but the person in the mirror.
Here, it's all about the relationship. It is
Absolutely.
all about the relationship with your clients, with other business owners. And I'm going to tell you that the referrals that I get a lot of them from like homeowners, and I'm always very grateful, but I also get a lot of them from because I've taken the time to build that relationship with other business owners. And some of the things that come our way are just so amazing. We just finished painting Paw's Place. We were the original painters on Paw's Place when they first opened up the new facility there on 87, and we got asked back again. And it's because we did the right thing, and we're able to we are able to give. And Sherwin-Williams was a really large contributor of that. They sent us some of their managers for the day. And they also contributed in product. And so it's about all of us just doing what we can and taking the time to build that relationship with others in the community, whether it's through your church, whether it's through the business community. It's what we leave behind. It's and I've always tried to teach my children that too, that I don't care what you do, you just need to be the best one at it. And that's how you attract like, and that's how you build relationships, and just be kind. Be kind when someone is, kind of throwing something at me, and maybe it's there's a problem, and I'll be, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. Here's how I can help you. I had a builder call me the other day, and there was a stain on the countertop, and it wasn't from us, and we knew that, but we were there to help solve the problem. We said, we're really sorry, but this is not our coffee stain on your brand new granite countertop, but here's how we can help you. And we cleaned it up. And we didn't have to do that, but it's who we are. We're there to serve, and we want to make sure that we're always putting our best foot forward, for sure.
And that builder will remember that and probably tell 10 people about it. And the thing is, you didn't do it to get that return, but you will get that return because you did it for the right reason. And I think that's, such an important mentality. I do want to go back to something else you said earlier, which was the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people. And I think that's so important. And my team and I are going through a John Maxwell leadership series now, where he talks about the importance of developing the people around you. But I saw a quote years ago, and I don't remember who said it, but the quote was that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose them wisely. And I think, that's so critical. And whether it's in your business or in your personal life, obviously, you don't get to choose who your siblings are and things like that. Your parents created them, but the people you choose to be around, choose people that will lift you up and inspire you and not drag you down. And one of my other favorite quotes is, attitudes are contagious, is yours worth catching. And that sometimes has been a convicting quote to me, because I would realize that I was the one getting other people fired up about something they didn't need to be fired up about. And I'd be better off to keep my mouth shut and be positive, or don't say anything at all.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that. And being around the right people, being around people that will tell you the truth, being around people that you can rely on, that will tell you the truth,
that's very true.
and to give you that really good, we can all like kick ourselves every day, but we need those people in our lives that notice what we have done, and notice when we're not on the right track. And a lot of times if something's not going quite right, I'll say to myself, okay, what was I doing that worked? And then I'll be like, oh, I forgot that one thing. And so, having a recipe, I always say, there's a recipe to success, and it's like baking brownies, right? If you don't put the flour in, or you don't put the chocolate in, you might get something that looks like brownies but doesn't taste like brownies, or vice versa. There's a recipe to it. I'm convinced of that, and I'm not willing to deviate from my recipe. Once you find out what the recipe is, make sure you stick to it, because it lets everybody know who you are and why it's so important, and why it's so important to build those relationships and take time for people. Whether it's in the Walmart parking lot or whatever, have a smile on your face and just go do it. Just be the best you every day. And I'm always so, every morning I thank God for another day, because it's another day that I get to go try, right? Go try to do my best. And some days are better than others, right? I mean, we all have that. But it's just so important to always have your best foot forward, always be just the best person that you can be, especially in the business community and just when you're out and about. I ask God for opportunities. Bring me people. Bring me people that need me today. Do they need a paint job? Do they need some words of wisdom? Do they need a kick in the butt, to get out there and go do it? What can I help you with today? How can I be of service? And I feel that when you have that service mentality, it just brings you to places that you never imagined that you would ever be.
I believe that's 100% accurate. I appreciate the mentality you bring to this about service and about giving. I think that's, the such an important mentality. You mentioned the recipe analogy, and I think, there's a recipe and then there's a process for implementing the recipe. And a lot of people, as soon as they start smelling what's in the oven, they want to take it out and eat it before it's done. And I think that's important too, to give your process time to work. People want to build relationships and they expect them to happen after one networking event, or they want to build trust with somebody they've known for 3 minutes, and things like that take time. Or they want to develop their leadership skills, but they don't want to do the day in and day out things they have to do it. And I think that's, so having the right recipe and the patience to follow the recipe are both critical.
And it's just what you said, Frank, doing the work. You have to do the work. If you had an operation and the doctor told you the 5 things that you need to do to make this go further faster, then you better do them. And it's no different than what we're talking about, further, faster. Coastal Painting and Improvements has now been in business for 18 years. And it's just all about the relationship, all about giving back. And it will come back to you. But I agree with you. I feel that a lot of people aren't patient. I feel that what I see a lot of the times is when people are starting a new business or undercapitalized. And so therefore that business doesn't get a chance to get off the ground. And there's a lot of smart people out there they can help if you are thinking about starting a small business. BCC College has all of those resources. There are I'll have people all the time that are new to business, and they'll say, "Hey, can I sit down with you? And can I just, run some things by you?" And I'll be like, "Absolutely," because I want them to succeed. There's enough room for all of us here. And if we can just help other people to realize that and to be successful, wow, what a community that we will have. And those that aren't doing the work, they're going to fall by the wayside. Concentrate on your run. I tell people all the time, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your community. Taking care of yourself, I think, is something when you're a small business owner, it's very difficult to wrap your head around that. Go take a walk, take lunch, right? Take lunch, get up in the morning, take a few minutes to stretch, be in tune with yourself too. I feel that a lot of times business owners, we wear so many different hats and we're trying to achieve so much during the day, but then we burn out because we didn't do the little things to help us with the big things. And a lot of little things help us with the big things.
Stephen Covey had his 7 habits. One of them was sharpen the saw. I would add an 8th habit and call it recharge your batteries, because I think we all need to do that, or we'll hit that burnout. Well, let's say you had someone come to you today that's starting out their career. What advice would you give them, whether it's in one of your fields or another field? What advice would you give somebody right out of college trying to figure out what they want to be 20 years later?
I think a lot of it is that if you are not passionate about what you're doing, don't even start. If you don't have this burning desire, and a lot of times, I think it's great that you go get a job job and figure out, how does that feel? Frank, I think my phone is going to die on me. Uh,
Okay, we can. Well, we're getting to the end of it here anyway, so
I don't
and
know.
you gotta love to.
Hopefully you can still see me. I can
Yeah.
definitely go get my charger if you can suspend it and
Uh,
we
w-
can.
w- let's. I will pause it here, and actually, I can't pause it. So let's just try to wrap it up
Okay.
because we're close to
I'm
the
so
end anyway.
sorry.
That's okay. Technology is great when it works, and that's the life of a business owner.
And I
I
had a
guess is there
good
any
battery before we started, so I'm sorry.
time to get a new phone? Maybe. Well, I guess
Yeah,
is there
that's it. Me too.
anything else you would like to share before we wrap up, or any advice you would give somebody starting out in their career that beyond what you just mentioned?
I just, first of all, I want to thank you, Frank. This has been wonderful. Sometimes, you don't know the questions that you're, going to be kind of asked. And I think it's great because it really made me dig down deep and figure out what I really wanted to convey and say today. But, if you're thinking of starting a business, surround yourself with some mentors. Get some mentors, read some really good books. There's so many books out there. I remember Jim Rohn said, somebody wrote the book and you didn't bother to read it. Read, read, read. Readers are leaders, and I'm completely convinced of that. I know that podcasts and stay away from TikTok. Stay away from the negative. Get yourself into the positive. Be feeding your brain good things. Turn your car into a classroom. Stop listening to the negative. A lot of people stop listening to the news because a lot of times we can't change what's on the news anyway. I really, really feel that those are some important things that as business people that we can really help others that are thinking about doing the same thing that we're doing, being entrepreneurs and controlling our own destiny, basically.
Well, I think you have given some great advice and great insight, and I appreciate you joining us today, Lucinda Arnold. And I would say which business, but there are so many of them that would take up more time than her battery has left. So you can listen to the whole podcast. You'll hear all of her businesses again. If you're watching this or listening on Spotify or another platform, please thank you for tuning in. And please go to our website, capefearbusiness.com, and you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts there. And again, Lucinda, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate everyone listening.
Thank you, Frank. And to everybody out there, thanks for listening. And I look forward to connecting with you.